Yeah. So good morning, everyone, guys. So let's start the session. First, Google Looker BA. So we'll start. What is the agenda today? So BA introduction, the evaluation or transforming of BA to the current landscape. How the BA modernization has done. So Looker introduction, build to do a different. How the Looker architecture is different than other BA tools. So why Looker other than BA platforms? Then Looker customizations, current pipelines with the Looker interface. So first of all, we need to know, I think you may guys know or we may don't know, you guys don't know, but you may know or you may don't know, but still we will start about this. What is BA intelligence? So BA intelligence is an application or tool that that will transform the data into the meaningful information to help business make better data-driven decisions. So how it will transform to the meaningful information? So you know the data is, in olden days, we used to store the data in Excel sheets. So when you need to know like a total sales quantity, total revenue, total sum of the sales, sum of the profit, then you have to go with the any pivot tables and you have to derive it. Then you can go through the each line item based on the data, how much data is the value in your Excel file. Then based on that, the derived pivot table will be displayed to you. Then again you have to go through the each line and compare to them to understand the better way. For example, the day by day the data will be increased, right? So that then the Excel sheet also will get the data volume is very huge. So you know when you are dealing with the Excel sheets, if the Excel sheet data is reached to certain threshold, then what will happen when you run that Excel sheet? Then it will become hang. Then it will never, it does not respond to you. So that's the reason they moved to the some relational database where the data can be stored, and from there what type of data the customer is need, those data only they will export it. So when they move to the relational databases, the data becomes stored there. Day by day again the data volume will be increased. So based on the user requirement, these guys data, 1 second please. Based on the requirement of business users, this data analyst, database team, they will again they have to explore, export the data and give it to the user in the Excel file only. So again user what he has to do? Again he need to do the pivot and perform the some primitive kind of reports, because Excel does not have much capability to present the data in the visualization side. Then they will do it. So what will happen again here? If the business user wanted to change something in the existing report, or he need some aggregations or data related in the KPI related, they has to heavily reliance on the again database team. So still again what they are doing Excels only. So again if the data value will increase, again that will problem for them to handle with the pivot versions or primitive kind of the reports. So even they need to do, even in Excel also we can create some visualizations and pivot reports. For that some lot of skills is required. So that's where business intelligence came into the picture. So why business is required the data to understand the better way? Because, for example, you are the business user, you are the business owner. Let's take trends. So if you take trends, there is a women's wear, men's wear, kids wear. Same lot of segments will be there. So at the end of the day or end of the month or end of the quarter, the business, Ambani or who is CEO for that, they need to understand how the business is performing and which segment is they are in, they are getting more profit, and which segment they are lacking to gain the more profit or to do the, develop the business. So based on the data, based on the values which you are presenting to the business user, he will take his decisions accordingly, he will change his plans accordingly, then he will take any step further based on the data which you shown to the business user. So now you know the data values which you are presenting in front of business user, how much it is importance. So that's where we are calling the business makes better data decisions, better driven decisions. The data which you are presenting to the business user, the data itself, it will drive to take the decisions. That's what the data driven decisions is called. So understand, right, why the business intelligence is required. So that's where we will get the data and we will move it to the some meaningful information. Even if you share spreadsheet or Excels, for the visualization that is not good. Again, lot of skills is required to the business user to understand the better way. So anything for you or for me, anyone, which is easily to attract or which is easy to understand, which is easy to remember in your mind, what is that? That is called visualization. So if you see something, that will easily, your mind easily capture that visualization. So that's where business users is expecting the data in the visualization point of view, because there the trends will show immediately what is the last quarter, how the next quarter is performing, this quarter is performing, how we can, even based on the past data or current data, we can get the forecast how our business will be in next quarter also. So those all the things will provide the business intelligence application. So the trends will show you by using some bar graphs or line graphs, whether their business is down, whether their business is up, it will show immediately, so that they can easily understand, so that they can easily capture the data to keep in mind to take the decisions, everything. So in practice, you got modern business intelligence tool, and you have the comprehensive view of your organization data. Then you will use the data to drive the change in the sense to drive the change in the business, and eliminate the inefficiencies. They can easily find out where they are not utilizing their business properly, where they are not utilizing their resources properly. Then they will mold their business plans. They will change their business plans according to the data which you represent to them. Even they can adapt to the market and supply changes. They can easily change how this market is evolving, and day by day the new tools will come. Day by day the modern data warehouses will be introduced. Day by day the new business, by example, if you are handling the Flipkart e-commerce, then Immediately in the market, we can't stop them, right? The many people will come and they will put it their own e-commerce sites. So day by day, the new platforms will come, new products will come. So these people always has to be ready to beat their challenges and ready to improve their business. That's where they're expecting this business intelligence. So understand, guys, how the business intelligence came into the picture.
Yeah.
Any?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So next, modern BE solution. So before going to the modern BE solution, the business intelligence is started somewhere, right? Why we need modernize the business? Modernize the BE. Why BE modernization is required? So we will get to know. So BE business, we will get to know further slides. So modern BE solution. It will prioritize the flexible service analysis, governance data on trusted platforms, empowered business users, and speed to insights. We will get to know this entire single line in further slides. What is this self-service, governance data, the business, how this looker empowers the business users to get their insights, everything. So next one is how BA, evaluation of BA lands, how BA is modernized day by day, how it is evolved from monolithic stacks to data as a service. So in olden days, we have this SAP BO, MicroStrategy, and Cognos reporting tools, business intelligence tool.
Yeah.
They don't have better database tools. They don't have better database tools. They used to extract the data, then they do some modeling and indexing to the data, whatever the data they get from extracts. On top of that, they used to create the reports. What will happen in this case? Whatever the data required to present to the customer and business user, according to the business user roles, the business user side also they used to get some kind of permissions. What kind of data the business users has to be get out of from BA perspective. So what is happening if you go some little bit of to understand where BA has come from? So it is started with the traditional BA, and in old database tools, and they invented quite a lot of extracts and loads. So there wasn't really much, because ability to self-service people, there wasn't great time to value, and it was really based on those kind of monolithic stacks. So hardly they will get the governance. So they did not have really in any other aspects. It's in terms of self-service, in terms of time to value, in terms of scalability, in terms of agility and latency. Hardly they will get governance alone. So what will happen in this case? There was an over-reliance on data teams. Whatever they required, any data to change the existing reports or to change any KPIs and to create a new report or to solve the new business query from the user. So again, they have to come to the data teams and extract it and do the modeling and create the reports on top of that. So if you observe in this case, there was an over-reliance on data teams, right? Even there was no reliance on data analyst. always they need to depending on data teams only. There is no reliance on data analyst because data analyst create the reports once he get the data from the data teams. Because of he does the reporting tool which he is working on, it does not connect it to the directly to the data source. They ask to our data, I mean our BA team, the analyst, always they have to depending on in the data teams on data reliance on the data teams. According to the data they get from the data teams, they will take action. So in monolithic stack first wave, they hardly they have the governance. There is no if you see, even they did not really have any other aspects. That modern BA in terms of granularity, self-service, and scalability, agility, and latency. So if you move to the wave 2, if you see, the wave 2 be into those kind of some cubes tools or workbook, where we saw this kind of more traditional workbook analytics tools. Present themselves that, like they have to get the data from in source system, and they have to extract the data to the any relational database systems. On top of it, they have to create cubes and workbooks. On top of that layer, they will create the reports. So in second wave, if you take cubes and tools, they are having even though they are having better relational database systems, again they are depending or relying on more extracts and load. They are depending more about the cubes and workbooks to maintain the kind of data that requested from the business. On top of it only, the business our business team, a business intelligence team, reporting team, they have to create the report. If we observe here, they are better in the self-service perspective, and not better, they are good in self-service BA. They are better in scalability and agility. In terms of other aspects that modern BA is required in terms of governance, latency, time to value, these things they are unable to provide to the business users. So always the business user worry about two things. One is governance, another one is scalability, another one is self-service pay. At last one is main one, always they focus. Data should not be a stale and the stole, and data when and where they required, the insights they have to come. They should not wait for it. Immediately wherever they request, the data should be populated. In terms of wave 2, we are more depending on cubes and workbooks. Again, any new query, again any updation, the data is not available in the cubes or workbooks. The reporting team has to be rely on data teams to extract that late data and load into the relational database system. Clear? So then the wave 3. Wave 3 in the sense, if you know, in market, there are many SaaS tools came. SaaS in the sense, one second please.
Yes, Venkat.
Yeah. So many SaaS tools has came, software as a service. Now they are expecting, they don't want to, the BA report guy has to depending on any extracts or any cubes or any workbooks. They are expecting their BA platform as a data platform. The data itself should be in the BA platform, where the BA guy has directly get the data from the within the platform to create the any BA reports. That's why we are calling this right now, whatever the wave we are, third wave is calling as a data as a platform. They have to integrate with any other BA tools. They have to create any custom applications. They should be in position to deliver the data in their workflows, whoever is requested, apart from BA. So apart from BA, they are expecting from a BA guy many aspects. One is integration, another one is the embedding, another one is the creation of custom applications. These three they are expecting. So why we are calling as a data as a platform, the looker, for the reporting perspective, the report guy, he should not, the looker itself, it will eliminate the need of extraction loads and it will eliminate the cubes and workbooks. And we can directly connect it to the data which is there in underlying data source. So that the platform itself is having the in-database architecture. So in-database architecture is nothing but whatever the data, whatever the database is having the data, those all the data we can deal with within the looker itself. So in before wave 1, wave 2, we doesn't have access whatever the data which is there in the underlying data source. Whatever the data which is extracted and load into our relational database main system or provide to the business user, that data only the BA is having the access. Now in our looker, the entire data which is there in underlying platform, the BA reporting guy, he can easily get the data and transform the data according to the business user and he can provide. So here looker is eliminating the all dependency from the data team and the extraction loads and cubes and workbooks. So the data itself, it will capture the from underlying data source, and the BA developer, he can handle all the data whatever is required. Whenever he required, you don't want to rely on the data teams to get the data. His own itself, he can extract it. He can work, he can get the data, he can work on accordingly. So in our platform, the looker will provide all aspects like self-service, time to value, governance, scalability, agility, and latency. We will see in further. So now we are in third wave platform. The platform we are calling as it is a platform means they are expecting in the platform not only BA, they are expecting integrations, they are expecting embedding, they are expecting custom applications as well. Many more apart from BA. That's why we are calling it is a platform, not BA intelligence tool. It is a platform, data as a platform. So let's see how the traditional approach, whatever we see here, it is kind of just this figure will indicate you just to extract and do the modeling and reports. How it will perform actually, the traditional approach. What and all teams is involved, what is the issues we will face in the traditional approach, we will see. First, in traditional approach, in wave 1,
Venkat,
wave 2,
Venkat, I have a question. How you can say Lucan has a in database analytics?
yes, I am coming to that point. No worries. There is a separate dedicated slide we are having. Okay, we will discuss about that.
Okay.
Okay, guys, please make a note of your questions, and I will take it up your questions at last. Okay, whenever I ask you that if you have any question, then you can respond. Thank you. So now the tradition, still we are in what is the difference between traditional and approach and modern way, which is very, very important. So let's continue this one. Later we will discuss about what Looker is offering in database or semantic, everything. So in traditional approach, we get the raw data collection. The ETL team extracts and they do transform. They will do transform according to the some business perspective, like dimensions, measures, any data type changes. Those all transformation will perform. Then they will load into the data warehouse. So ETL team collect the raw data, extract the raw data from different sources, and they will do transform and they will load into the warehouse, data warehouse. So in traditional BA, we have slow data warehouses we are having. So because on-premises databases we have by that time, we used to depending on those on-premises data. So day by day, the data volume will be increased. So those databases not in terms of scalability that much to handle that kind of data. So heavy transformation has to be done by the ETL team, and the data warehouse is slow. So the data warehouse will handle by the DBA team. So in BA side, based on the ask from the business user, ask in the sense what they requested, ask based on the ask from the business team, the BA team get the data from data warehouse, they will extract, they will maintain, they will extract that data, and they will maintain some cubes and workbooks. On top of that, BA team will perform the reporting actions. So here, whatever the BA team, in traditional approach, whatever they are doing, that is inflexible. Why that is inflexible, I will let you know. Again, after developing the report, then we have to send to the business user. So business user is having limited access to the whatever the report which you provide. In terms of, not only access, in terms of agility, distribution, and he may have different questions on top of the report which you develop and send to him. So everything is limited. He may have what happened, he may ask why it happened, many things he will ask. So why it is happened means according to the report which you develop, there will be some similar data which will indicate why it is happened. The data will available in the data source. Again, we have to, if the new question why it is happened, the business user is asked, then again you have to go to the data team. They collect based on the ask from the business user, he will indicate to the ETL team, I require this data. Again, they will extract. Again, they will do some transformation. Then they will load into the data warehouse. From there, you need to extract and maintain the cubes and workbooks, then do the modification or existing report or create the new report according to the requirement. Then you need to send it to the business user. What you observe here, for any new question, you have to go to from starting onwards. The business business in report, report developer or BA developer does not have flexibility to change existing cubes or existing extracts or workbooks. Even if he is having some limited access, it is inflexible. Even he knows the new question which he asked the data. I don't need to go on ETL team. I have the data in extracts or cubes. What he has to do? He has to find out the right data, where the data sits in, which data silos, in which cube, which extracts, in which work. Again, that will be time consuming process. Whatever new questions, whatever modifications, anything is required based on the business user ask, that will be time consuming process and waste of the, relay depending on the data teams. So what will happen usually in the traditional BI? There are two issues. One is bottleneck, another one is the queues. Bottleneck in the sense, any new question or new ask from the business user, always the new question has to be go to the data team or data analyst to perform the action. So that will be waste of time, time consuming process, and heavily relying on data teams. Second issue is chaos in the sense the business user, he asks whatever you sent, your predefined report. You send bar chart, you send line chart, you send like a pie chart, these things. They need some different report and different view, and they need some changes on the existing KPIs. According to that report, they can perform. So what will happen when you are maintaining even though they are not asking new requirement, they are expecting some different KPIs, and they are expecting to change some reporting. So for that, you don't need to go again to the data analyst. Yourself as a BA developer, you can do it. But what is the problem here? When the many requests from the many business users, you doesn't understand exactly where the right data sits in your cubes, where the right data sits in your extracts, where the right data sits in your workbooks. Again, you need to search entirely, and you need to create, get the data from those and change the data rules accordingly, according to the KPIs requirement, and generate the new reports and present it to the business user. So it is time consuming process. In bottleneck issue, heavily relying on data teams. In your different chaos request, time consuming process. That's where the traditional BA platform is required, the modern BA, where the developers save their time and utilize the time into the, wherever important work, wherever deliverables will be there they can focus. So our BA platform, whatever we are going to discuss about the Looker, it will solve these two issues. So the Looker modern BA approach, here we will eliminate both data team and DPS. We can, ETL team and DBS. So data engineering team will come into the picture. They will collect the raw data from different sources. They just follow the lift and shift process that is called extract and load. They will extract the data and they will load into the modern data warehouse. The modern data warehouse is called, nowadays we are having all cloud databases which can handle, very well, maybe MPP, how the data will be processing in the database. that is called some MPP. The cloud data warehouse handle the large volume of data, huge volume of the data, and it will be scalability platform for any BA perspective. So here, if you observe, they are not performing any transformations. They are just extracting the data and they are loading it. So in terms of, if you eliminate the transformation, you don't need to depending on jobs to be completed in the ETL side, where they are creating in traditional BA platform, the jobs may be fail, which the data needs to be stored in the data warehouse, and jobs may get delay, and you need to always rely on the data teams. Here in this case, you don't need to go on depending on much more, not heavy reliance. In certain, compared to traditional BA, the data availability in the modern data store, if it is there, then you don't need to depending on the data engineering team. If you face any certain cases, the requested data is not available, then you have to depending on it. But mostly their job they will perform, your job you will perform. So whatever the job they need to do, they will collect the data and extract and load it, they will perform it. So here transform they are eliminating, they are just doing the extracts and load it. So in our Looker, how the transformation will happen means the Looker will follow the agile data modeling, that is called LookML modeling. LookML model. The model which we are creating, that is in the semantic layer. So Looker is having a in database architecture, semantic layer, and cloud native first. Here in database architecture, why we are calling means in Looker, you don't need to move any data from the database to, you don't need to move any data from the database to Looker environment. They don't, no need to move any data Looker, because Looker does not store any data. Once you connected to the any data warehouse, once you connected to the any data warehouse from the Looker, what will happen? Looker intelligently, the capability of the Looker product, how they have built it. Once you connected to the data, you will get three options. You will get three options. The options are, while creating the project, that will taken care by the your administrator, you don't need to worry. See, generate the model from database schema. Whatever the model which is, it will generate the model from the database schema. How it will generate? There are two things. One is you can select all tables. Another one is you select a single table. Single table in the sense, you need to mention the table name which needs to be model, generate the model. All tables means the entire data warehouse tables till up to date when you are connecting, it will generate the model from that. How it will? Once you connected to the database, the Looker intelligently read all the tables, intelligently read all tables and create the basic LookML code. It will extract the metadata from the tables which are there in the database and create the basic LookML code. That's why it store the views. That is called having the view is nothing but a virtual, views. What is view, guys? View is nothing but a virtual table, right? It does not store any data. It just store the metadata information. So in view, it just to capture the metadata information from the underlying data source and it store it. For it will read along with the relationships which is there in the database schema and it generate the basic model where we are having the relationship between the tables. That's why we are calling in database architecture. In database architecture, because you don't need to store any data or moment. It will leverage the native database functionality. Whatever the database functionality which is having the underlying data source, like relationship between the tables, the star schema or something which we created, those schema related tables, it will leverage the metadata from the database and it will capture and it will store in the looker. Got it? So now, whatever it stores, for example, now you are having the business request, and you need to create any dashboard or report. Then you will create the according to the views which you are having in the agile data modeling. Then once you create the data set or do the modeling in Explore, once you just to drag and drop the dimension measures and click on run, then looker itself, there is a called SQL generator, looker SQL generator, that itself is create the generate the SQL code, then it will send to the database. From there, it will collect the data and create the visualization. One second, guys. If you see, this image, if you are a business user, if you are a data analyst, okay, how there looker itself, it will generate the SQL code, I said, right? There will be a looker SQL generator. Once the business user, whatever he is having ideas or questions, he will drag and drop that fields into the Explore and just click on that run. From there, he will put some query filtration conditions, filter conditions. Then looker generator will generate the SQL generator will generate the SQL query. Then it will request it to the database. From there, result will come to the looker Explore, where the insights will be created and sent to the business user. So if you see our diagram here, I have diagram. Here, are you depending on any extracts? Are you depending on any cubes? Are you depending on any workbooks? No. So everything, whatever the relationship, whatever the dimensions, measures, custom calculations, custom fields, everything should be done in semantic layer. The semantic layer is nothing but the semantic layer where we can do modeling everything. So semantic layer is code-based layer that will follow the LookML code, Looker modeling language. So any request come from the business, the reporting developer will create the dimensions, measures, custom calculations, and filters everything in the agile modeling layer. Then he will create the data set and he will explore in the LookML model. From LookML explore section, if you select any fields, the looker itself, it will create the SQL code for that. Then the SQL code will go to the database, data warehouse. See, here what is happening? The transformation will happening on the whatever LookML code which you done. Here you do transformations, everything. According to the transformation which you done, the looker generate the SQL code. Then it will go to the data warehouse. Then it will get the data and create the visualization. That's why we mentioned the transformation is happening on the query. The transformation is happening on the query because you may put different names for the dimensions, but underlying field will be different, right? So you select in the explore section whatever the dimension name which you newly created, but the underlying name will be different. How looker understand that one? When you drag and drop those fields, click on run, the transformations, everything which you done in the agile model, it will transform how the fields, how the measures will be there in the database in the query level. That's why the transformations will be happened on the query. So any new changes, any new business request, if a business user is requested, you don't need to go to the data team and come to the data warehouse, extracts, loads, then business, our BA team, then business user. That is not required. Everything will be done in the next level of looker only, within the looker itself, not next level. So this all blue section will perform within the looker only. So that's why it is a data as a service. Everything is done performed in innovation section only. Any modifications, any new request, any existing KPS definition change, everything will perform within looker. Clear, guys? So looker solve those all the problems, whatever the governance, whatever the self-service, flexibility, agility, standard, scalability, performance, everything. So here in agile, whatever we said, right, semantic layer, where we can define our dimensions, measures, calculations, where we standardize our metrics. So looker speaks the SQL, but looker followed by the LookML code. So we will see tomorrow what is third wave business intelligence looker, about looker, then looker platform, then how it is different than other BA tools. Clear, guys? Any doubts for today's session? Even though it is, you had same session in prior, but I need to more clear about you guys. I mean, you guys should have clear understanding of that one. That's why I have provided you making this.
Okay.
Any doubts? I am ready to take it.
It's fine.
Ramesh, Subhash, our Maruti.
I'm fine. No problem.
Ramesh, is it fine?
No, it's fine.
Ashwini?
Yeah, it is fine.
Okay then. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.